Hi everyone, Helen Fahy is my name and I'm Head of Quality and Culture at the Doyle Collection. I'd like to welcome you first of all to the team. I'm very proud of the people that I work with, all 1,277 of them across the 8 hotels. And without you guys, actually, quality wouldn't be possible within our company. It's interesting, quality means different things to different people. And actually, that's part of what we do within our hotels. We've got 8 very, very different hotels, very unique people in each of our hotels. And indeed, the guests who come and stay with us are individually unique. So we have corporate guests, we have leisure guests, we have families that come and stay. And I'm sure you'll understand, having stayed in hotels, that everybody has different needs. And for me, that's what quality is about. It's about understanding the needs of every individual guest and making sure that we meet those needs. And indeed, where we can, where we absolutely exceed the expectations that the guests have of us as team members of the Doyle Collection. For me, we recruit for attitude and we train for skills. There isn't a role, in my opinion, in the company that we can't train people up on. What is very, very important to me is that anytime we have a standard, that irrespective of who is doing that standard, that the standard is consistent. I'm going to use the analogy of maybe a roller coaster. Where guests struggle in terms of their feedback to us is when 1 minute or one time they come and stay with us, the service is very, very high. And then the next time they come and stay with us, perhaps the service is challenged somewhat. So standards in terms of quality for me is about doing the same thing, the same way, all of the time. But don't get me wrong now, I don't want you guys to be robotic. I want to see your personality, your lovely character, your smile, the way that you interact with the guest and engage with the guest. I hear stories about this every day. I send shout outs all of the time about all of you because you are exceptional in the way that you interact and engage with our guest. The way you interact with our internal guest, your team members, your colleagues is truly amazing. And I just want you to be able to understand the importance of that. The guest does want the standard. They do have a level of expectation of us as a company or as a hotel when they come and stay with us. And our job, I guess, is not just to meet that, but it's to exceed it where we can at all. And often where we exceed it is where we think about the guest and their specific needs, where we're thoughtful, where we have moments of warmth and acknowledgement, where we're not being robotic for the sake of doing the standard, but we kind of go the extra mile a wee bit. And that's the experiences that guests have that rocks their world, frankly. And that's what makes them come back and stay with us. And ultimately, loyalty is what it's all about. It's about driving loyalty of our guests. Irrespective of what hotel you're working in, we want to have guests come back, the same people. I'd love for you to remember the guest when they come back. I'd love for you to use the guest name because that makes them feel welcomed. That is a totally underestimated standard in our business. Using the guest name makes them feel individual. It doesn't make them feel like they're just another number. And one of the things that the guest says about us in terms of our standards is that time and time and time again, that they feel welcomed, that they see us as team members as being hospitable. And really, you can't teach people that. You either have that or you don't have it. So for me, when you start in the Doyle Collection, you will be introduced to what our standards are. We call them Standard Operating Procedures, SOPs for short. It's your head of department's role to ensure that they're communicated to you in a way that you best understand. Now, one of the things I would say to you is, it's fine to make mistakes. No question is a stupid question, so ask as many questions as you can, because if you don't ask, how are you going to know? But equally, if you don't understand a standard, it's your responsibility to go back to your head of department and say, look, which is the best way to do this? Am I doing this correct? Because for me, it is about making sure that it's consistent, that if we're serving a cup of coffee, that we serve it consistently the same way time and time again. And that's your role, and that's what we expect of you guys as team members, proud people as part of the Doyle Collection. So it's not science, it's not a huge amount of science. Just consider yourself, if you put yourself in the shoes of the guest, what would you expect of the service, of the interaction that you have with people? Would you expect somebody to have a great big smile and to try and make use of their name? Or do you expect somebody that's really surly and quite robotic. For me, as I said to you before, we recruit for attitude and we train for skills. I can't make you smile. I can't make you be interpersonal and engage. You guys do that so beautifully. In fact, there's very little training that needs to be done with you. The only area that we really need to focus is on the standards. And we do focus on that very much. We have areas that we measure very much in terms of market matrix. What is the guest saying about us after they've stayed with us? We look at TripAdvisor all of the time for each of the hotels to say, okay, did the guest enjoy themselves? If they did have some challenges in terms of their experience when they stayed with us, okay, what are we going to do about that? Sometimes we drop the ball. If we drop the ball, we need to make sure that we don't do that the next time. So it's not difficult, I guess. In my opinion, it's not difficult. It's just understanding the importance of it. The last thing that we look at is we look at quality and particularly luxury. And we do benchmark ourselves against our competitive set, other hotels that we either aspire to be or that we know that we're on the same level at in terms of our product, our service and our people. So LQA is leading quality assurance. This is a company that comes in and does spot visits once a quarter to see how their experience is, to see whether we hit the standards in terms of luxury, and particularly to see whether they enjoyed and were engaged with by you good people. So, like I said, not rocket science, it's just about focusing on particular areas of your role, understanding them. If you don't, make sure to ask, to make sure that it's straight in your own mind, and just enjoy yourself. Because the more we enjoy what we do, it's obvious to the guest. They enjoy having an interaction with us. And that's what quality is. In fact, that's what hospitality is. And the luxury and the standards will all set in fine. They will all find their own way. But it's your interaction with the standards that will make sure that the guest has an exceptional experience staying in our hotels. I feel very fortunate to work with you guys. I love it, in fact. I will spend time in all of the different hotels and I'll say hello to you individually as best as I can. But for you guys, for proud people, as I call you all, I feel terribly proud to be part of it. Have a great time today. Enjoy the welcome. Enjoy your role. Have a fabulous adventure. And I'd hope to see you very soon.